Good morning, students. I am Satbir Singh. Today, we will discuss the chapter number 1 of IT tools for class 11th, that is, Computer Organization and Operating System User Perspectives. Students, in this chapter, we will study about hardware, software, functionality of a computer, operating system, and types of operating system. First, since you know very well that our computer is not only a complete set, but it contains different devices which has been categorized in three units. Basically, it is input unit, processing unit, and output unit. It is clear to you that computer is an electronic machine that accepts input, process it, and returns it. The instructions given by the users, that is known as input, after it they goes to the processor that process it in the CPU, and after that we got the results from the output devices. These devices are known as output unit. Our computer do not understand our own language. It understands only zeros and ones. The collection of these zeros and ones is known as ASCII code. These zeros and ones are represented by different bits, or you can say the binary bits. This lang- this language is known as the binary language. In this way, you can say that our computer only understands the binary language, not our own language. But you can say that if we works on the computer, it also understands our language. How it is possible? Because we have installed different type of language translators into the computer that converts our different digits and alphabets into these zeros and ones. Those are understood by the computer. These are known as language translators like interpreter, compiler, and assembler. So it can be possible for us to communicate with our computer. Like other things, computer system has also its own characteristics like speed. Our computer can work at a very fast speed. This speed can be measured by MIPS, means millions instructions per second. This is the different from the speed with the information that can be sent and from one computer to another computer. Second is versatility. If a machine or human being performs more than one task at the same time, that is known as the versatility of that particular machine. Suppose if we say that a human being can perform more than one task, it is a versatile person. If machines like computers can perform more than one task, suppose if you are doing your work, also you are listening music, and you also given command to print through the printer. So in this way, our computer is doing three jobs, so we can say that it is a versatile machine. Then it comes accuracy. Since you know very well, computer is very accurate in doing different type of calculations, because it totally depends upon us. If you have installed a good software, then it cannot perform any wrong errors. Then it comes to diligence. Diligence means never get tired or never get bored. Your computer can work repeatedly, maybe thousands time, 1,000th time, but it never gets bored by doing the repetitive works like human beings. Then memory. Like human beings, they can remember the things for a long time. Like that, the computer can also remember the things. But we are to store all these things into it. If we save the data, then we can also retrieve it again. Our data is stored on the secondary storage devices of the computer like hard disk, pen drive, DVDs, CDs, magnetic tapes, etc. Then storage capacity. A computer can store huge amount of data that can be accessed when you require to it. This data is stored in the different storage devices. Intelligence. Our computer is a very intelligent machine. It can perform any task depending upon the softwares. As per our requirements, we develop such type of softwares which we are required. Nowadays, the artificial intelligence had started and it is expected that a computer can perform work like human beings. But it never more intelligent than human beings because it is totally depends upon the softwares and softwares are designed by the human beings. So we can say that a computer cannot be more intelligent than us. By keeping these things, computer is capable of doing the things at a very high speed. Its accuracy, diligence, versatility, and retrieval of information that makes it a unique machine. So if we talk about the functionality of the computer and its different devices, it is categorized and a block diagram is presented in front of you. That is, first is given the input unit. The devices which are used to give input to our computer, they are categorized as input devices like keyboard, mouse, scanner, joystick, like that. Then this input goes to the CPU, means central processing unit, and this unit also has different units like accepting on information. If we When we give instructions or data by using different input devices into the system, our computer accepts that. जैसा कि जो है स्टूडेंट्स, हम अपना कीबोर्ड का यूज़ करके, माउस का यूज़ करके, वट एवर द इंस्ट्रक्शंस वी आर गिविंग टू द कंप्यूटर, these are accepted by the computer system. We can also give automatic instructions by using different type of softwares. Those are called programs. And program is just only a sequence of instructions that are to be executed in a particular order so that the required work can be performed. And it comes storage. If we are processing the information, after processing the information, these instructions or data can be stored as a result, and so that we can use them in future when they are required. That it has the control. The computer has also a unique unit that is known as CU, the control unit. Its work is to manage and control the different devices and software and hardware resources of the computer properly to meet our requirements. The processing. The processing in the computer is done by the processor, which is located in the CPU. Then it provides the output. After processing, if we want to store the data, we can store, or if we want to see or take an output results in the form of maybe on the screen, it may be in the form of volume by the speakers, or it may be printed on the paper by printer, so it can be retrieved by different hard output devices. So like that, in this doing so processings, our CPU has also divided into different categories like ALU, arithmetic logic unit. It is responsible for doing all the mathematical, logical, and relational operations which are performed by our computer. Then it comes control unit. Control unit is responsible to control the flow of information from one part of the computer to the other part, or you can say from one device to another device. Suppose if input is coming from the input devices, it will send to the processor for processing, and after processing, wherever you want to be sent to it, either on the monitor, printer, or speaker, it is done by the control unit. Then it comes the primary storage or secondary storage, means you can say the storage devices, the storage unit or memory unit. It is comprised of two types, primary and secondary. The primary memory of the computer or primary storage is used to store the active programs only. Active programs means the programs which are opened at the same moment. As soon as you close them, they swapped it out from, because so that it is known as a temporary storage or temporary memory. Then it comes secondary storage. The secondary storage is an external to our computer, means it can be an external device which stores a large amount of data permanently, so that we can also retrieve it again when we are required to use. Now next is that inside the computer. Students, you may have seen your computers and used from the outside, but you do not go inside it, because you have seen the CPU, hard disk, keyboards, mouse, monitors, speakers, but you never peep it into the different parts which are located inside the CPU. So friends, I am just telling you what are the main parts of the CPU. First of all, there is a board on the CPU. एक ग्रीन कलर का जो कि एक बड़ा सा बोर्ड होता है. All the devices and different cable connections have been provided by that. It also has different chips, capacitors, transistors are installed into it, that is known as the motherboard. Why motherboard? Because all the devices which are used by your computer are attached to it. That is why it is giving the connection or connectivity to each and every device. That is, it is known as the mother of all. That is why the motherboard. Then it comes different expansion slots. Suppose like memory slots, if you have the shortage of memory, then you can install another memory slots. Then it come hard disk. Hard disk is also placed on a particular area. Then come different compact drives. Compact drive means like CDs, DVDs. It has also the CD-ROM or DVD writers, in which you can insert or perform different actions on these devices. Then there are the different type of power supply cables, as well as the data cables are also there. Then it comes the power supply area, where the power is controlled and distributed to the different devices of the computer. That area is known as SMPS. That is the power supply, means it is known as the SMPS. Then it comes the hard disk. Hard disk contains different types of disks, which are divided into different sectors and tracks, and data is stored into them. Every sector has its own unique address, so that the data is stored into them, and when they are required, it can be retrieved. Our CPU has the record of the data which is stored at what location. When you want to open any file, the CPU directly goes to that particular location which has been stored at the time of saving the data, that can be opened and accessed by that. So the capacity of the storing of the information may have different measures, like they may be in the form of different bytes, bits, kilobytes, megabytes. So what are these things? The smallest unit is known as a bit. It may be either a 0 or 1s. Since you know very well, when we are using the information, it is converted into the signals, and these signals are in the form of zeros and ones. These 0 and 1s are known as bits, which is known as the smallest unit of the memory. Then it comes nibble. It is a collection of 4 bits, and collection of 8 bits is known as a byte. 1024 bytes make a kilobyte, that is known as KB, and 1024 KB is equal to 1 megabyte, that is MB. 1024 megabyte is equal to 1 gigabyte, and 1024 gigabyte is equal to 1 terabyte, and 1024 terabyte is equal to 1 petabyte, that is PB. Next comes RAM, random access memory. Since you know very well, it is a temporary memory and comes into the primary memory of our computer. It only contains the programs which are opened or active and that same moment when you are accessing that. So we can say that it stores the data temporarily. As soon as you close the program or you shut down the system, the programs swapped out from it. It loses its data. That is why it is known as temporary. It is has a different chips. Those are made up of silicon material and has been attached to a slot where your area has been defined for it. So it contains different system programs as well as your own programs for the using. Okay students, next, that is operating system. The operating system we will cover in the next class, so that it is this portion of the chapter is done by us for your today's. Okay, thank you students, and it's enough for today's class. We will continue next time with the operating system and its different types and its uses. Thank you and have a nice day.